Thanks for joining me for episode 4, where we will cover the evolving crisis at the border with the Islamiyah Jeddah and their northern movement towards the U.S., the NADC response, and the deterrent options that are underway. Episode 4 takes place on June 30th, 2024, about a week after the major ground training exercise was started by NADC forces along with a battalion of U.S. Marines in the Desierto del Altar, just north of Puerto Penasco, Mexico. Here's a quick summary of the Blue Force laydown that has worked to pressure the IJ group to disband and begin a southward movement. If you remember, there are 3 Mexican National Infantry companies to the east, 3 NADC companies at a northern training area, and a battalion or approximately 5 U.S. Marine Corps companies of infantry to the west. That amounts to roughly 1,100 troops in active defense along the skirt of the Cardenas Basin. NADC G2, along with help from the NGA, has tracked segments of the IJ group already underway from their main assembly area. They started from the southeastern corner of the assembly area. Here's their path of travel to what is believed to be an embarkation point that is southeast of Puerto Penasco. It is believed that they intend to embark on several chartered small crafts in an effort to return south along the Baja Peninsula. Reportedly, some of the crafts are as small as skiffs, and they have acquired a semi-submersible on loan from a cartel group in the region. It's important to note here that the IJ group made the decision to retreat from their northern position only after several days of significant fires, gunnery, and general maneuvering in close proximity to their assembly area. The show of force was executed brilliantly, as it is estimated that the IJ launched out scouting parties that then reported back all of these significant regional capabilities, and this indeed was a strong deterrence for continued activity in the north. It is postulated that they may be moving back south to regroup and reorganize in order to build a stronger regional footprint before encroaching on the U.S. southern border again. In their initial egress, they carefully moved around the eastern tip of the fires and gunnery range and established a midway staging point to travel via segments rather than making the entire journey at once. Some elements have already departed the hasty embarkation area and set sail as of June 30, and at least 2 launches have been intercepted by the NADC established Maritime Task Force. 2 launches are actually being tracked closely right now. The NADC established Maritime Task Force consists of a U.S. Navy LPD with attached Marine Expeditionary Unit, or MEU, LCACs, and small boat operations groups, as seen in the intro. A U.S. Coast Guard cutter with a highly trained SPSS interdiction crew, and on-call close air support from U.S. Carrier Strike Group 9 operating in the Pacific Ocean. MQ-9 Predators are also on task from the NADC to support the Maritime Task Force. The Maritime Task Force mission is to enforce a Maritime Exclusion Zone, or MEZ, for the northern quarter of the Gulf of California, and to further interdict all IJ group departures, and then detain all armed personnel in a non-disclosed area until July 14, 2024. The NADC will release the personnel after weapons have been confiscated and a vetting has been completed on or about July 15, 2024. The Maritime Task Force activation dates are from June 28, 2024 through July 31, 2024. It is estimated that all IJ group interdictions will be complete by mid-July. Early indications and warnings are that the IJ group are incapable of departures via ground, as fuel is in extremely short supply. This is due in part to the denied fuel sources, which was part of the Mexican national campaign and supported by regional cartels through a cooperative agreement. The denied fuel campaign demonstrates the importance of contested logistics in defeating a potential adversary before a kinetic campaign ensues. The response options are working precisely as designed in that the IJ is retreating back to their continental point of origin, while the means to travel via multiple modes of transportation has been significantly reduced. Their compelled southern movement is constrained now to waterborne sources that are available only in limited form. The NADC has contacted most common launch service providers and launch rental agencies in northern Mexico, and they are all cooperating with the campaign to restrict the movement of the IJ groups within the Gulf of California in accordance with the Maritime Exclusion Zone. In an unprecedented series of meetings, Mexican officials and NADC leadership are meeting with regional drug cartels in the draft of an interim security cooperation agreement that commits the regional drug cartels to participate in the collective defense of northern Mexico. The drug cartels are already assisting Mexican officials as relations between the IJ and the regional drug cartels has been strained, to say the least. Mexican officials have asked that the cartels do not conduct any offensive operations or actions against IJ groups. They are to be interdicted and detained by the NADC Maritime Task Force exclusively. So that means essentially U.S. Coast Guard, the U.S. Navy, or U.S. Marine Amphibious Forces. In keeping with the best practices of collective defense, the NADC involves civilian authorities, both regional and national, to the greatest extent possible. The NADC has an extensive civilian support infrastructure that includes an arm of the U.S. Department of State. NADC maritime authorities will be handing off all detainees to the U.S. Department of State branch within the NADC hierarchy. This ensures that detainees are processed expeditiously and returned to their home of origin through diplomatic channels as soon as eligible. All cruise line port activity at the port of Cabo San Lucas has been suspended until July 15th due to the possibility of IJ activity back in the Cabo vicinity. Container shipping traffic is limited, but that has also been suspended until July 15th. This is relevant because future defensive activities will likely be conducted in the area surrounding Cabo San Lucas, which is a highly popular tourist destination, which in thinking that may be part of the IJ strategy to generate regional threat, since it's so heavily populated and traveled by tourists. The Baja 1000 is an annual Mexican off-road motorsport race held annually in Baja California. This prestigious off-road race attracts worldwide competitors and is still scheduled for the second half of July 2024. Mexican officials have decided to continue this race as there is significant financial commitment generating worldwide attention to Mexico. It is estimated that the IJ will seize opportunities to generate threat and bring attention on the world stage at this event. So this will conclude episode 4. Be sure to watch for intelligence summaries throughout the week and for episode 5, where the NADC continues interdiction activities in the southern Gulf of California. Let me know if you like the series, and also let me know if you'd like to see 45-second shorts that bridge the episodes in an effort to provide more context. Thanks for watching. See you next time.